everybody, to the LEC post-game lobby. I'm Sjokz, joined by Medic, and in a minute or so, we'll also be joined by G2's Rekkles after, an eventful game, I would say, versus Astralis. Medic closer than I guess it should be if you look at kind of the pedigree of both teams?
Yeah, I think so. I think Caps had one of those games where you are reminded there's claps and then there's the other side of that coin.
Yeah.
He struggled a little bit, and obviously Rekkles had a very good performance to make up for it. Wonder with his ultimates later on in the game, but I was very impressed by what Astralis brought out. I thought their team play and their team fighting was really strong, so it's encouraging for Astralis, and G2 will look at it as a game that, yes, they won, but not in a convincing fashion.
I think we've got Rekkles, but I also see a still of Whippo on the other screen, so I don't know what's going on there. Rekkles? All right, he's not here yet. Damn!
Oh?
What a tease by the production.
I know, right?
Anyway, yeah, I think maybe we can look at some images of this game immediately, but indeed, a very close game. And then you got to say, okay, well, then credit for G2 for not letting it spin out of control. But I think Astralis, as you say, also deserves some praise for this, also inventiveness in the composition, right? And the Karthus and making it work.
Yeah, I think Jessica is a player that has had those bot lane majors in his pool for quite a while. I remember watching him when he was on XL, I believe it was, all those years ago when he was still playing the Karthus as well. So I think that Zanzara having the use of both his hands obviously has helped Astralis a little bit this week, and you can see that they have a lot of confidence as a team. Promiscu needs to work a little bit on not getting caught out, but if they can do that, they're a team that could challenge for playoffs this time.
And I think Rekkles has joined us as well. Hello, Rekkles.
Hi.
Hi. Jumping in straight to the replay. Yeah, we were just talking about the fact that it was a pretty dicey game in the end versus Astralis. What is your read on what made it so close?
Honestly, I'm not even sure what happened this game. I was having a good game, so I knew we were going to win in the end, but stuff was happening on the map, so it became a bit of a scrim, I would say. But I was farming up, and I knew we'd win in the end. We had Tristana Bro.
Yeah, exactly.
In the game with those.
I was going to ask, when you have the Tristana and you are doing as well as you were in that game, there is, of course, a certainty. But I think because of the game last week versus Sjokz, I definitely also thought, you know, maybe it could still go in the other way for Astralis. So could you talk me through kind of that one loss you picked up last week and what the focus was this week to make sure that there was a better performance in this opening game?
I think we just figured out to not give Akali and Lulu and Sin to one team, and Nocturne as well. We gave Nocturne as well, which is not great. So I think we figured that out. But in terms of play, not much have changed. I think we could have won that Schalke game as well if, I mean, I can't speak for everyone else, but I know if I played better, we would have won that game. So to me, we should be 4-0 right now, but I'll take 3-1. It's okay.
I mean, 3-1 isn't that bad either, I would say, for sure.
No one in the league is undefeated anymore, so you're still sitting up at the top of the table with a 3-1 scoreline.
Yeah, exactly. So Rekkles, it was kind of an interesting situation in that a lot of teams in the league went through changes, actually so many between spring and summer, and you with G2 are in the situation where I guess you had a lot of time to look at what happened in spring. You also had the addition of Nelson to the coaching staff. Do you feel that you guys gained a lot, and how did you approach that time that you had, which you don't always have in between splits, and the new coach coming in terms of, you know, being the best you could be at the start of this split?
So I think for Nelson specifically, it's just more about very in-depth League of Legends stuff. I don't think he is necessarily someone for us that works on how we function as a team. That I think that's something that already works well. I think we're a good team in terms of how we treat each other and talk to each other and work with each other. So I think Nelson's job description, so to speak, would be to just teach us the game very, very in-depth. And that is, to me, the biggest difference that we've made from spring to summer, just having more concepts in mind when we play the game, stuff we want to do in the game, not just everyone having their own ideas, but actually having an idea as a team. And I guess for myself, the time in between spring and summer, I also try to work on just playing more champions. I know now I'm just playing Tristana every game, so that's not really happening. But trust me, I'm working on it.
Yeah, so I'd love to ask a follow-up in terms of Nelson. Obviously, yeah, he's someone who's been in the scene since 2012. He has a vast wealth of experience. Could you maybe talk a little bit more about, you say the approach. So how does that work? Do you have a brainstorm session where everyone comes in and says, I would like to try this comp, I would like to try this champion, I think we should work on the early game, the mid game, whatever. How does that happen? And how do you then pinpoint, okay, this is what we're going to work on now going into this week?
I think Nelson just kind of watched us play for like 2 weeks and then made up his mind on what we're not so good at. And ever since then, we've just been like specifically working on that. Trying to shore up basically all weaknesses we have so that games aren't lost in any way. Like we can always come back and win. Just having like really good fundamentals, playing around Drakes really well, playing around jungle really well in the early game. Something that before we just kind of like not talk about or not think about, maybe even when we're playing, we just kind of play and maybe expect to win anyways. And I think everyone in the team now knows that's not going to be the case anymore. So now we are trying to just make sure we don't have any holes in our armor, and we are actually, no matter what, kind of going to make it to the later stages of the game, the team fights, where I think we have enough good players, or maybe all of the best players here in Europe, to just win. So yeah, just trying to make it through early game more cleanly and play around Drakes and stuff better, so that we can actually get a chance to show how good we actually are individually.
That makes a lot of sense from a team play point of view. I did want to ask you, Rekkles, I've been watching your stream quite a lot in the mornings before the LEC, and a few times you've talked about how you wanted to feel more confident with new champions. Is that part of what you're doing and experimenting with to try and find some confidence that can help your team out in the draft?
So for me specifically, I think the biggest change I had to make before starting this split was to play just every champ there is to play. Try to find confidence in every champ I play, not just have my set of champions. And again, here I am playing Tristan every game, which is great. It's netting us wins. I'm really good at the champion, so no shame in that. But I think just stuff that's going on behind the scenes, like what I'm playing in solo queue, what we're playing in scrims, the talks we're having between me and Mickey are just much more open now, rather than this is what we're doing no matter what. And then it kind of becomes, especially when we're playing best of fives, it kind of becomes too one-dimensional. Like when you're losing, you need a plan B. And I think in spring we just didn't have a plan B because we're so set on our plan A. So I'm just trying to, have all these backup things ready, so that when we come to those moments, we can play, just everything, have confidence in everything, and show that there's more to it than just whatever people have seen before.
I could be wrong, but is this something that you feel like, because you've been playing for so long, that you go through like every couple of maybe months or even, years? Because I can imagine like you have everything in your back pocket, you have good results on it, but then you come into a new environment or you play with a new duo partner like you do now with Mickey, and the other teams are improving as well. Do you feel like it's almost like a cycle, or am I wrong in that?
No, I think it's a cycle for sure. And I don't think you realize it's a cycle until you lose. That's the biggest issue. I think it was too good of a regular season in spring for us, for me to realize there were issues. I know I talked about it briefly with the Kai'Sa specifically in spring, but we were 14-4 in this regular season, and we were just winning everything. So I didn't really realize there was this cycle until it was too late and we lost to Mad. And then there was like 4 days or 5 days of scrims before we played Rogue, which is not nearly enough time to actually make changes that matter. So my bad in a way. I feel like it was kind of my bad because I should have realized sooner and not just have it happen after the loss. But now I'm aware, and now I'm working on it. So hopefully next time we're in a situation like this, we just have more aces up our sleeve and we can actually do more things than just whatever we had planned before, because it kind of just happened to be that we had our plan A, we lost to Mad, and then there was nothing. And I think there should always be something there, or at least we're trying to make sure there's something there.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a side effect of why people say that spring is obviously so important, even if maybe not everyone considers it as such. But you did come into a completely new team environment, right? And it's almost as like it flipped the page for you. And now there's a new page and you have to decide what you write on it. So I really like the way you opened up about that. And we'll be looking forward to more non-Tristana games, as long as it's not Karma, I guess.
I mean, Garen Yumi's still on the cards, right?
True. Let's take a look at the standings, because Misfits, they dropped their first game game. They were 3-0, but they lost to Rogue. In the middle of the table, it's also quite spicy. Excel picked up a win. Fnatic picked up a win over Vitality. Rekkles, I don't know how much of the other games you saw, but which team would you say has stood out to you, both maybe on stage and perhaps also in scrims?
I think Fnatic are really good, but they're only 2-2, so.
Hey, the scores, stats can lie.
They're really good. They looked so good in preseason when we were scrimming them. I thought for sure they'd just come out strong, and then they lost the first 2 games. And I thought maybe, I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I actually think I do. I think they're good. So that'd be my team.
And what is it then that, because obviously, I guess you look mostly at your own lane. If you're scrimming, if they're good, then you'll be like, oh, well, the team must be pretty good. Then I guess, you know, you have a high opinion of Upset and Hilly. Is that mainly what informed this opinion? And what do you think of Bwipo also in the jungle?
I wouldn't even say it was Upset and Hilly mainly. I mean, they're really good. Maybe, probably the best bot lane we have in Europe. But I think just the way they play as a team, it's interesting to see someone be so much on the same page. Like 5 guys be so much on the same page. They just fight all the time. I think it's great. So if they can just translate that to stage and be confident in what they do, then they're gonna be scary.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think Hylissang and Bwipo were always like those go-forward guys, and they seem to have translated that with Bwipo now being in the jungle. The last 2 games have been very impressive from them. I'm also impressed by Misfits. I think even today against Rogue, they put on a really good showing, only losing because of compositional differences. You know, the Paranoia into Crowstorm combination was just a little bit too much for them to handle. But I think Misfits are definitely a playoff team in this summer.
And the way things are shaped up means that G2, Rogue, and Mad Lions, because of the spring performance, obviously have the best chances of getting to Worlds at this point in time, right? You'd have to fight them, get past them, etc. Rekkles, how big is your level of confidence that you will get to play at Worlds this year with G2, and how much are you already thinking about that, even though it's only week 2?
I'm probably thinking about it too much, because as you say, it's only week 2, so there's a lot of games to play and at least 1 best of 5 to win to make it there. Hopefully more, because by winning more, that also means we could maybe win a title here in Europe, which is why I joined G2 in the first place. So try not to think about it too much, but obviously I am. It's just so exciting, you know, when you see all the cities we're going to be going to, and you know from being there in 2017 and last year as well, how hype everything is over there. It's just, yeah. You want to go, but I think my confidence levels are reasonably high. I think for sure we are top 4, which should be putting us in a good spot for the bracket going to playoffs. But yeah, it's just too early to say. I think just gotta stay strong throughout the entire split. That's usually, to me at least, the most important thing when you're playing these regular seasons, to just stay strong, because there's so many games to play, so many patches to go through, so many weeks to spend together with your team, and if you lose the touch of what you're doing at any point, it's just gonna snowball so quickly. So it's just about staying strong throughout the entire thing, making sure you are present in every moment there is, and then whenever, you know, the best of 5 comes around that decides you go to Worlds or not, you're ready for it.
Yeah. Eye on the prize, obviously, without letting it control your thoughts, but we all know how hard that can be sometimes. Now, tomorrow, you're up versus Rogue. Rogue 1 versus Misfits today, and it is the match of the week, the last game of the day. And yeah, I mean, we've talked about Rogue as well as a team that always has their fundamentals down, and they are extremely strong in the early game, have been in their first 4 games. Rekkles, what is your expectation to kind of, or I wouldn't say plan, but are you confident that you can distort their early game and then take the game tomorrow?
I would say so. I think they ran the same strategy against us in regular season in spring with, I think they played Caitlyn Morgana trying to just win early game, and they couldn't. And in the first game, I guess it wasn't as bad. Then they were kind of playing like Vayne, trying to farm for late, which didn't work that well either. I think like we should be going into this game thinking we're going to win. I don't see why we wouldn't. I know we lost to them in the best of 5, but yeah, I don't see why we should think that we're not winning this one. I think just, try to survive early game. They draft for it as well. They played Draven today, which is something that's really strong early game. So just make sure we do the jungle pathing right, help our lanes push out in base, all the small stuff that gets you to the later stages. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we have really good players in our team that can shine. So just gotta make it there.
Yeah, and they have actually never been able to beat G2.
Yeah, 0-10, I think, against G2.
There's something about the best of ones. So tomorrow could be the day for Rogue. Who knows? Rekkles, we're not going to keep you any longer, but I would like to take a selfie with you if you don't mind. And just say also that we miss you and everyone at the studio very, very much. So we definitely hope that that can change quickly.
Yeah, hopefully we get players back and then fans back. Like, I miss the fans so much when I'm casting. Makes me really sad.
Yeah, I don't want
Where do you want me?
to take selfies anymore with the players not here. All right, smile.
Okay, smile.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Rekkles. Great
Thank you,
interview.
Rekkles.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye.
See you guys around.
Good luck tomorrow,
Ciao.
and that was all from
Thank
us
you.
here tonight, but the action is far from over. You can watch week 3 of the LCS with Cloud9 versus EG. We'll be back tomorrow for more League of Legends and our match of the week, G2 versus Rogue. Don't miss it. Welcome to Berlin, Germany for week 2 of the LEC summer season. We have a surprising top team. Misfits Gaming are now in sole possession of first place. And what is interesting about the standings is that all the teams that are in the top half are teams that have not made any changes.
Goes just between the uprights. Shockwave brought Kirei back. Treats with the stopwatch. Kirei pops the crescent guard.
So the ultimate comes through from Broken Blade. Oh,
Look at
the
this
huge
AoE.
E.
Oh! Put your face on the keyboard, nuclear end. Rolling around. QWE, QWE, QWE. Let's go. Shao Kahn, Fear just AoE'd the hell out of them. To attack, to pounce in. As Dan is the only one from XL still on that dragon. It's reset the solar flare on 3. Bring home the hammer. As XL just evaporates in front of the Mad Lions. Oh, Paranoia. We're gonna have some nightmares. The Crow Storm Paranoia double fear. Oh my goodness. That is a dream that you just want to wake up from. Here it goes down. Rogue gets 2. Difficult circumstances in the path. Here comes the Crow Storm. Ask whatever damn question you want of the Raven. It's a murder in the bot lane.
He's a summoners. They don't have a heal, but a TP's coming in.
Legacy has to leap out to safety. Stun comes in. They body block. They're going to try to pull himself in before he gets anything done. Clean combo coming out. Whippo can heal right back up. Burn, baby. Burn. Leader getting cut down.
An upset. Might go in here.
Flashes forward. Throws Hellsang into the mix. Hellsang now backing up. Whippo getting the reset. He's going to grab one more. It's the Leona. He's in the midst of the entire team. Fate sealed. Will try to take Leader out to safety. He has to run for the hills. Niski now going in. E2 already been used. Leader just taken down instantly, and it's all too easy. Fnatic take the fight.
Requiem out! Caps is dead! Shut down! Goes over to Jessla. Completely forgot about that ultimate.
Is it going to be 4? Promise Q, walking, running, Mickey, 1v1, supportal combat, the flash forward, the auto, 4 for 4, Promise Q!